Spurs have won the match, but who won the tactical battle? We will look closely now and examine how both teams executed each plan. And we're gonna come up with a winner if there is one. In this channel, we don't look to the scoreline. We want to examine every detail. Here's how both teams been set up. And if you look carefully, you're gonna notice that both teams playing the same way and the same formation with small differences. In general, they look the same, at the exception of the rule of the fullbacks. Let us look here, for example. Bissouma normally is the one in the middle, defending. Sarr joined the attack, and they can have three players, Spurs on the right side, and Madison join in the left side, and they have three players on the other side. When they have the ball, they become both inverted, so they have three there screening the play. And when they lose the ball, they come back to four. Suma go here, and Sarr become a second DM, and the team go back defending. United did exact same thing. Casemiro is here. Mount join with Fernandes, and they become here more players. Shaw here, Wan-Bissaka here, and they create their own triangle here, and they create their own triangle here. The only difference is Shaw normally join Casemiro here, and Wan-Bissaka wander much more forward, allowing Fernandes to move around, even Mount, and a placing position. The other minor difference is United used Casemiro to head the balls. So he was running most of the time. When United have a chance of a cross, he go there and he try to join them. Fernandes as well do that. And sometimes he sit in the sides trying to provide the pass. Another difference is United. The way they penetrated is Fernandes join here. So they have two attackers. And then Casemiro join there and they try to put the ball here. And one of them try to run with the ball. Garnacho sometimes here as well. Antonio as well here. So they try to send the ball there. But how Spurs approach it is a different way. They don't try to penetrate the defense from the center. What they do is, for example, here they join and they create that triangle, which is pass the ball here and there. And once here, the ball here, he moves the fullback or sometimes Madison and the fullback come here. And they find their way through those type of movements. And then for sure, other players going to join in. And from one of those chances is the way how they score the goal. So they both, how they play, they look the same, but how they execute it, especially in attacking wise, is different. But that doesn't mean United didn't try to have those triangles, because most of the time you can see Fernandes join here, Wan-Bissaka here, even the other side as well with Shaw and Garnacho and Mount, and they tried to create those triangles as well. And most of the United chances were from passes to those directions, straight and direct, trying to penetrate through balls the Spurs line. Now that was the theory. Let us check how each side implemented those plans. Overall, both teams closed down opposition high on the pitch. In this example, United closing down high. The marking were poor, with some players were even 3 to 5 meters away from the fullbacks, which they were supposed to be marking. But credit to them, they were able to recover. Yet, United wingers made the same mistakes they did in the last match. They are not able to pick up the runners, like Rashford, Mount and Fernandes, or they make their own choice by going inside. And you can see here, instead of passing inside the box, they pass it outside, which make the chance harder. At the first half, United were able to escape the closing down from Spurs with some sleek passing. The ball reached Garnacho, but have a look at Fernandes. He's shouting, tell him please pass the ball, over and over and over, but he went for himself. Sadly for him, Spurs always outnumbered United in the box, and they have plenty of players, which make it harder for United to make any shot. Anthony could have created a triangle with Wan-Bissaka and Fernandes, or at least pass it to Garnacho, who was shouting here for them. But as usual, he cut inside and hit Spurs' wall. So somehow the ball ended up in Rashford's path and almost he scored. United have a chance again, but as usual, now the other winger, Garnacho, take one touch more and the shoot was blocked. United came back the ball and started a counter-attack. Fernandes asking for it, pass to Rashford and the chance is missed. Spurs always defended in numbers and they were very compact and very efficient as they were populating the box, which make it harder for United to pass or even to shoot. But that is as well held by United, because United wingers kept coming inside like the previous match instead of stretching the flank. stretching that defensive line of Spurs. But like United were wasteful in the wings, Spurs did match them. Here, Son leading the counter-attack, and look to Richarlison screaming for the pass. He is free, but he totally ignored him. He ignored Madison as well. Even Borough. United decisions were bad as well. Look here, Rashford. He see Garnacho. When he tried to make the pass, did he pass it to his path? No, he passed it behind him, which stopped United counter. The good thing about Spurs system is they defended the number in the important area and they attacked the number in the important area as well. Look here, you have 5 against 4 United players. But again, no through passes to Richarlison or Son. On this occasion, Son did find a runner. Unfortunately, Spurs kept making those safe passes which allowed United defenders to be back. Now Anthony has the ball. Should he create a triangle or at least use the flank? No, he go inside and try to shoot. This time for a change, he picked Garnacho and looked to the chance United creating because Shaw made a great cross and Bruno missed an open goal. What is worrying for Spurs is that how easy their defensive line, despite they were compact and outnumbering United, they kept missing the United player with simple cross or long ball. Rashford could have scored. Bruno on this occasion could have scored. Casemiro have a couple of chances as well. Son again, he has a chance. Does he pick a runner? Or Madison is asking for the ball? No, he go back and overkeep the ball. A great piece of skill from Madison as he found Bruno with a great through pass. What did Bruno do? Did he pick the pass to those 2 runners? No, he shoot instead. But credit to him, he apologized. But Spurs were able to find the breakthrough. Klofowski was unselfish here, and he passed the ball to the dangerous area of the 6-box yard, creating a chaos which resulted to the goal. And Spurs didn't try that a lot in the first half, and United didn't try that the whole match. The whole passing was outside the box. In the second half, we start to see more triangles from Spurs. Look here, instead of passing through the middle, Spurs rather create the triangles in the flanks, which is where United were weaker. And you can see there in the central area, they have 6 players, including the fullbacks. And that's why that plan worked well for Spurs. Again, Spurs starting to create a triangle. But in this occasion, Klofowski thought he can run to that empty space. Unfortunately for him, he was blocked. So he passed it to Sarr, who had offside. Another triangle, which frees Son. But his cross was anticipated. Then he ran inside and formed another triangle. And Son ran riot and almost scored if it was not for Luke Shaw, who make a last ditch. We start seeing more and more of those triangles for Spurs in the second half. For sure, helped by United pushing up, trying to find an equalizer, which opened up the space for the wingers. Spurs created another triangle, and it confused United defenders as they don't know who to pick or to mark. So Sarr encouraged and tried and shot. Remember, the concept of triangles is not to pass the ball between those 3 players, but to create more options and pick the best option. The second goal as well come from exposing the flanks. Now, who won the tactical battle? Well, I think both managers had a good plan. In fact, United were dominant side in the first half and created lots of chances. And you can see that clearly on the XG. That all changed in the minute when Spurs scored their goal. And United started pushing up, emptying the flank. The XG for both sides were high, which means both teams allowed too many chances against them. And while United been exposed in the wings, Spurs were easily exposed by simple cross or long ball above their defensive line. United as well have lots of chances from the wings, but the problem is they were wasteful. They lacked imagination. Individually, they make their own decision and they didn't pick the right pass to punish Spurs because they have big chances. There were too many empty spaces you can easily pass to and they didn't. Same apply on Spurs. They have much more better passes in many occasions and every time they picked the wrong pass. But both managers did very good job defensively in terms of adding numbers and defending in the key, which is in the side of the box. It was very compact for both sides, and that's why most of the shots being blocked. Even the heat map look almost the same. Even shooting, they almost the same. Although Spurs had more shot inside the 6-box, which I think is the best area and most dangerous place to pass to. And to be honest, this is how Spurs scored both goals. They were inside the 6-box. The average position is matching what we described at the start. But you notice one thing. Look to the attacking line of Spurs. 5 players in the same line. While United were more spread and shifted slightly to the right side, which explained why Garnacho had lots of space during the whole match. As Spurs seemed to be shifted in the right as well, trying to match United. I think overall in this match there was no clear win. I think both plans were fine, despite lots of individual bad decisions. And this has been confirmed as well by the stats, which is almost the same for both. Overall, I think both managers were trying to play a new system, and the players still not accustomed to that system. And you can see less of bad decision in the final for both sides. There are a lot of work to be done for both sides. But I don't think Anthony or Garnacho will fit that system. I think Eric Ten Hag need to rethink of that. Because while he can reduce how much time they cut inside and become very predictable by training, I don't think he can solve their final decision. United have more runners, so they needed more creators, people who can see a pass better. And this is the difference between United wingers and City. So while Eric Ten Hag opted for a much more skilled player and fast, Pep Guardiola chose more creative wingers who can see the pass.